Real estate agents, make sure you do not make these mistakes when putting up your for sale signs or banner, or it will make you lose all your commissions or maybe more than that. If you want to know what mistakes am I talking about, please stay tuned until the end of this video. Hi, I'm Alvin Tan from Alvin Prop Solutions. We are a platform that exchange experience regarding property buy and sell issue based on true case study. Because we believe experience is power. If you think the same, please support us and give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below to follow our channel. Well, it's 100% free. Alright, let's start our story. Well, everyone knows that putting up for sale signboards and banners are one of the most popular method or the most basic method for agents to sell out their houses or property, especially when those properties are located in high traffic flow area or even town area. Correct? Right? Unfortunately, in this true story that I'm about to tell, an agent actually did a very big mistake when putting up her for sale signboard out there and cost her all her commission.
Ouch!
Think about that, right? Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, we need to present our character for today. Let me present to you Miss Eva.
Thank you very much.
Right. Welcome, Eva. Okay, Eva will be our agent for today. Okay, and secondly, let me introduce to you Mr. Tan. Okay, Mr. Tan will be our seller. Okay, will act as our seller for today. We also don't want to forget our house buyer for today, Mr. Alan. Yeah, welcome. Three of our main character in this story. Okay, Eva will act as the agent, Mr. Tan will act as the house seller, okay, and Alan will be the house buyer for today. Alright, so let's start our story. One day, Mr. Tan, which is the house buyer, called up and appointed agent Eva to help sell out his bungalow. When agent Eva went to the bungalow for an inspection, she actually found out that the bungalow is located just beside a busy street that had a very high traffic flow. So immediately, she suggested the seller, Mr. Tan, to let her put up her for sale signboard on the house. Unfortunately, the seller rejected her request and said that she is only allowed to advertise the property via online. And you know what? Mr. Tan actually forbid agent Eva from putting up a for sale sign on the house. So agent Eva has no choice but to follow the seller instructions, right? But in her heart, she really think that putting up a for sale signboard on that house is the most effective way to sell the house in this case. But what can she do? She has to follow the instructions of her client. So no choice, she just proceed to advertise the house via online. 3 days later, well, there is no response at all from the online advertisement. So agent Eva happens to pass by the house and she actually stopped aside and watched at the busy traffic flow passing by the house. And she actually decided to ignore the seller's instruction and put up the for sale signboard on the house. And in her heart, she said that Mr. Tan will sure thank me when I'm able to sell the house later. Well, another 3 days passed by and not even one call came from the signboard. Well, the house is a nice house, reasonably priced and located in a quite nice area. So Agent Eva actually feel quite strange and she actually went back to the house to check out what is the problem. She is so angry when she arrived at that house because she saw her signboard got taken off and thrown on the ground. And she suspected that Mr. Tan is the one who did it because he is the one who forbid her to put on the signboard in the first place, right? So, well, no choice. Eva had to pick up her signboard, put in the car, and took off, hoping that her online advertisement will get her some response soon. 1 month later, finally, Alan has arrived to save the day. Okay, so our buyer Alan saw Eva's advertising online. Okay, he is quite interested on that house and called up Eva to arrange for viewing on the bungalow. Everything was smooth. After a few negotiations on the pricing, they came to an agreement and the deal is done. Alright, within 2 weeks time, all the sales and purchase agreement, the loan agreement and other paperwork was signed and done. So everyone was happy. 1 month later, the lawyer called up Agent Eva, the seller, Mr. Tan, and the buyer, Alan, for a meeting. Okay, the lawyer mentioned that right after they signed the sales and purchase agreement, they found that someone actually launched a caveat on the title of this property. Well, in case you don't understand what is a caveat, okay, to explain in short, a caveat actually is a notice that is launched to prevent a title from doing any name transfer. So you cannot do any sales transaction if you cannot do name transfer. Right? Understand? Simple. So we quickly jump back into our story. So after some investigation, Mr. Tan actually found out that the person who launched the caveat on his house is actually his own sister. Okay, here's the story. His sister actually claims that this house belongs to their parents. Okay, although the name has been transferred fully to Mr. Tan, the house seller, but the sister claims that their parents transferred the name to him with a condition, which is the house cannot be sold to other people. Okay, so the sister actually warned Mr. Tan that if he continued to sell this house, she will actually sue him on court. Too bad, right? So as you can see, things are getting ugly and complicated. So we don't want to interfere in other people's family issues here. So we jump quickly to the conclusion. Until the end, the case tak jadi. Okay, call off. Well, to make things more ugly, Mr. Tan actually found out how his sister come to know about him selling the house. Well, his sister actually stayed just a few houses after the bungalow, and when Agent Eva hanged her signboard on the house, the sister actually saw the whole process, and she is the one who went there to take off the signboard and throw it on the ground. Mr. Tan is very angry and hated Eva so much. So this is what happened when agents do not follow the client instruction. So in conclusion of this case, Agent Eva had to refund 100% of her commission to the buyer Alan, right? And Mr. Tan, the house seller, actually only able to refund half of the down payment that he has taken, because he has used up half of the down payment. but he actually promised that he will pay them back by installment to the buyer. Well, besides that, Alan also lose some money on the legal fees. Too bad. Well, that's the end of the story, okay? And here comes the fun part, judgment time, right? This is the part that we give our comment on who you think is guilty in this case and who is innocent. I hope that y'all can give your comment below regarding this case, okay? Who you think is guilty, who you think is innocent, alright? So in my opinion, obviously Agent Eva is guilty, okay? Because as a licensed real estate agent, disobeying client instruction and also hanging her signboard on the property without the permission of the client is actually very wrong and very unprofessional. So obviously she is guilty, in my opinion. But on the other hand, I also found Mr. Tan, the seller, guilty. Why? Because I think the right way of doing things in this case is Mr. Tan have to discuss with his family and to come to an agreement to sell the house before appointing Agent Eva to sell the house. I think that this is the main reason the whole case jeopardized, right? Why? Because yes, this time Mr. Tan can put the blame on Eva because he disobeyed his instruction by putting up the signboard and let his sister know about him selling the house. But this doesn't mean that his sister will not find out online. His sister herself may find out from Facebook advertisement, right? So you cannot guarantee that if the agent advertised the house online, the sister will not find out. You cannot guarantee that, right? So things might still happen even though Eva did not put up the signboard. Alright, so that's why I find the seller is also guilty in this case. Of course, very obvious, the most innocent guy in this story is Alan. Okay, he did everything right, yet he is the one losing money. Poor Alan. You see guys, this is exactly why we created this channel, to share experience and prevent people from making mistakes and causes unnecessary loss, right? That loss is unnecessary. Poor Alan. Hi guys, if you love what we are doing here, please do support us by giving us a thumbs up and also click the subscribe button below. So if it happens that you have a story to share with us, please do tell us your story by clicking into the WhatsApp link at the description box below. Oh guys, before we go, I would like to share with you all for free step-by-step Facebook advertising training on lead generations. If you're interested, you can always click the WhatsApp link in the description box below and I will send you the training video. Alright? So okay then, see you on the next video. Bye.